Muffin is going to do Sorrow Bash. He is going to use Bashes.
A minute away from his PB if everything goes well. Oh my god.
Is that faster?
Is that faster? Big jerk sometimes. He doesn't want to play nice. Oh my good lord.
What a save!
Oh! He makes it. Wow.
Oh my god, nice.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament 2019. We have got for you the last quarterfinal matchup from the third to last round of this tournament. So here we go. It's number 2 seed Willson versus number 7 seed Terra21. It's sure to be an exciting match here as we wrap up this round. Here to bring you the action, my name is Willson. I am here with Fant. Fant, tell us a little bit about these runners.
Yeah, so Willson, if you've been around the Ori community for, I guess, the last year or so, you know Willson is a very good runner. He took home the trophy last year, the All Skills tournament, took that to 5 games, and very, very impressive all around. Terra, he made an appearance at AGDQ 2018 as one of the 4 racers running All Skills there, so has a little bit of experience on the stage, so maybe has a little bit better of a handle on his nerves, possibly.
We'll see. Wilson's definitely mentioned that his nerves are a factor for him at times here. But of course, you can see from the difference in the PBs here, the difference in the qualifier averages. These runners are both very skilled, but Wilson's definitely got a little bit of that time advantage, and he'll be looking to take advantage of that. He said he's not too concerned about his ability to defeat Terra if he plays how he knows he can play. The question is, will he play how he knows he can play?
Yeah, Terra's at that point where his PB is close enough where it's not going to be a free victory for Willson. He still has to play well. He has to do the stuff he knows he can do, no really big, costly mistakes, because there's a couple strats that Willson in particular goes for, like Crazy Juggle, where if you mess that up, that's a really big time loss. If he nails it, that's going to be a great time save over Terra, but still, it's spooky. It's very spooky.
It is spooky. So as we're underway here, both runners, of course, heading off to the left, they're going to collect Spirit Flame as usual, and we find something to talk about at this point in the run. Fant, here might be good to just mention we've got mild difference in early game strats. Terra will be looking for slightly less XP collected on the way back from wall jump in about 3 minutes, whereas Willson will be going for his Slime Genocide route. So, BRB is really that first place where we're likely to see much of a difference here. But I always like to look at this wall jump segment and think, who's going to get the health drops? Who's going to get the energy drops?
Oh, yes, that's always good. So, yeah, the enemies can drop energy, can drop health, and it's pretty random whether or not it's going to be. I forget the exact percentage, like 10% chance.
Approximately 100%, yeah.
Approximately 100%, okay. And the first real opportunity we're going to see that coming up at the bounce pad. Terra a little bit ahead of Willson here, and he's going to destroy this little spore on top of the bounce pad. And here we go. Oh, Terra gets the cutscene, and Willson also gets the cutscene for, I believe that was the health cell.
I think for Willson it was definitely the XP only, but I believe for Terra he got both actually. That's an animation stack, which is actually very nice to get. Saves about 40 frames, I think. So that's a really nice little time save for Terra. You see Willson here, as we talk about something a little more serious, actually having a few little bits of flubs on his movement. Could be indicative of those early game nerves. Willson is watching his opponent. He's going to see that Terra's just a little bit ahead of him, but he said that will both kind of, add to his nerves and also energize him a little bit potentially. So, you might see him as he's going to be skipping this first health cell here. So that'll immediately save him 8.5 seconds. But in addition, if he falls behind again here, he might kind of take some energy and roar back into it.
Yeah, and that being said, it's 8 seconds now, but Willson's going to have to make up for that later at the very, very end of the run, getting an additional health cell that Terra's not going to have to worry about. So I think, what is it? Over like four and a half seconds,
I believe, yeah.
So, but for now, Willson is going to take the lead as we head down to the wall jump tree.
So some mouse swipes from Terra there.
Oh, that was nice on Terra's screen, jumping over that energy drop,
Yeah,
avoiding the cutscene.
that's a really difficult little jump to get to avoid having to pick that up. So those drops coming back to
And oh man, Terra actually got hit by the slime on his way down to the flower, but thankfully had an extra bit of health, and now safely to the wall jump tree along with Willson.
Yeah, looks like Terra will come in with a 321 to Wilson's 314. So making back a little of that time that was already lost to the health cell. And he'll, of course, make back that extra time later on. Meanwhile, Willson will be moving on away from the wall jump tree, picking up his energy cell. A little bit of a high five here. Not much of distance between them. But now we're going to see a little bit of that difference as far as the early game XP strats here.
Yeah, Willson toggling on his UI just to check and see where his XP was. And now heading back up. He has to keep very close attention to all these numbers going on his screen. He picked up 12 XP there. I'm not sure if that's a good good amount for the slime genocide, as I don't do it, but Willson, you may be able to shed some light on that.
Yeah, and it can differ for every runner, really. But in this case in particular, I would assume Wilson is going to just kind of look at that number and say, okay, that's probably going to be enough. I should be fine. So he'll continue onwards. Might kill a slime here or there, but he should be pretty good. He is going to take the 15 XP pickup right near the beginning of the game. There, just a quick turn on of his UI to check on that XP count. And that 15 XP that he'll pick up will also kind of seem to cede back a little bit of the time that he currently has over Terra. However, he's going to gain most of that back because Terra in BRB is going to be doing a reload, a slightly different strategy that will end up being about 4 seconds slower.
And here we go. Willson starting the save anywhere, Terra as well. And still that difference basically amounting up to that 4th health cell pickup for now. And yeah, we'll see, provided both Willson and Terra do like a perfectly executed Black Root Burrows, which is easier said than done. Willson will pick up about 4 seconds here over the strats Terra chooses to use.
Yeah, and Willson came in with very high XP and not very much left to level, so he took that level up off the first slime. That might actually, I said, I think in the last time I commentated him, maybe he was a little high, but actually maybe he's just aiming to have that much XP. There's a lot of flexibility in how you do this genocide route. So one nice thing about it is that you don't have to jump up to the left there where Willson just went by.
You see Terra doing right now.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, Terra misses the jump the first time, but nails it the second time. So a little bit of time loss, but easily recoverable.
Yeah, and he'll now do a reload. So that throws off his platforms a little bit, but he'll be doing a reload using a save and exit back to the main menu in just a few moments in his lasers. Willson not having to do that, making his platform cycle, no problem. Genocide making that cycle pretty easy to get. But on Terra's side, I believe he'll be throwing down a save right here, and there you go. Quick reload, and he'll be getting a good platform cycle as well.
All right, Willson pausing there to manipulate the platform cycles. He's up there. Again, both runners, you'll see this quite often in the early game especially, just toggling on and off their UI. And Willson, what's going on over there, Willson?
Circling that XP, which he missed. He does need that XP, that 11 that he just missed from that slime. Each one drops 12. It is going to necessitate him to kill another slime on the way out of Black Root Burrows. Now, he already has to kill one extra slime on the way out of Black Root. That's just part of the route, but he'll need to kill a second one as well, which is going to cost him a few seconds and offer Terra a little bit of an opportunity to catch up here.
Terra did a good job on the platform manipulation as well. And now Willson starting another save anywhere. He's going to do, I believe Willson goes for the cutscene stack, right?
No, he probably won't be. In fact, you can see now he's waiting. The reason he won't be, almost every other top runner is going to go for this, and the reason Wilson's not is the genocide route. Needing to kill that extra slime on the way.
That's right, that's right.
Just pretty much means you have to give back all the time you would save from this. So he's going to be watching the cutscene animation. Sorry, the tree animation. Terra's going to be watching the tree animation in just a moment. Looks like a little bit more than 10 seconds or so right now, but again, Willson will give back a little bit of that time as he kills an extra slime here.
And there it is, 2 slimes down for Willson. And now a quick dash glide over the cutscene, and he is on to the Frankie Walk, and Terra close behind.
And now we'll see whether any, sort of ill things will befall either of our runners. I know Willson said this is the type of area where he knows that nerves can come into play, so once he gets into the Death Gauntlet, he's going to be a little bit safe. But Frankie Walk itself, there's not really any way to be much safer. You just gotta go for it. You gotta jump into these damaging spikes with only 3 HP. That's a little spooky because he Actually, I think he avoided taking the damage in Black Rebirth, so he's probably on 2 HP right now. But in either case, just about done with our Frankie Wonky. Just needs to get position. Did pull off the optimal one fewer hop for the Frankie, and now we're into Death Gauntlet.
Yeah, and Wilson mentioned this before the race that, to take things a little bit safer, he's going to avoid doing this trick called the Death Glide, where you give him that crusher on the left, and he's changing his mind.
What a liar!
So maybe that's like a sign of Wilson's confidence right now that going into the race he was nervous, he didn't want to go for that, but now he's like, okay, I see I have a lead over Terra, I'm feeling good, I think I can make this. Let's see on your right, Terra goes for the same trick and nails it perfectly. Now back to your left on Wilson, he's going to go for the early Grotto cycle and nails it.
Beautiful movement there. There's chained dashes across the moving platforms, taking a little bit of advantage of the platform that is the crusher that's moving towards the right to get a little bit of a speed boost, and then some precise wall jumps up the wall, and he's able to get in. Terra going for the same thing and does not get it. Unfortunately, bonks the energy crystal, kind of showing you how precise that actually is. Willson, meanwhile, took that intentional death for the ghost door. He is on his way to the double jump tree, and Terra getting set back another 8 seconds there. So already the gap is kind of widening, and maybe Willson is kind of taking that energy from being ahead right now.
Yeah, I know. Just really minor time losses on Wilson's end and BRB, like having to kill that extra slime. But so far, this is looking really, really clean from Willson.
Okay, well.
And, oh my gosh, that Frankie.
Oh, man. All right, a little bit of a spooky moment for Willson, but he is fine. He's actually on pretty close to his PB pace as it is, so that's not, you never necessarily expect someone with a 28 to be able to continue and pull out a PB in a race like this, but being that close on your pace even early on just kind of shows the level of confidence he's playing with. Terra, meanwhile, is going to do that same movement, not get softened up by a Frankie, and now you get to see some of that double jump heavy wall climbing movement that there is in this segment here.
Yeah, way harder than it looks because all of these walls have kind of funky geometry that you can get caught up on. So it looks like you're just easily going in, like Terra there on the right, just a little bit short on that jump, wasn't able to get and grab the ledge, but he's through, going to do his save and reload to despawn, rock falling cutscene, and Willson, opening up quite a bit of lead. It was a 26-second delta as of the double jump tree, and just the tiny little mistakes that Terra's doing on this climb is going to add to that.
Indeed, as Terra does get to the top of the rock fall, puts down his save, he'll rekindle that cutscene as well that Willson just skipped a minute ago. Gonna get his water vein, the key to the first dungeon, the Ginso tree, and both runners gonna be heading there pretty shortly. Willson does get bopped by our friend Gandalf the Slime. He's not really our friend, we actually kind of hate him because he does prevent you from passing, but Willson does manage to get on through.
Well, we'll see if Gandalf lets Terra through, or if he just has it out for all the runners today.
He has it out for all the runners in general, not just today. Oh,
I'm kind of hoping Terra does it. Let's go. Ooh. Come on, Terra. Nope.
Nope.
Nobody's passing today.
On Wilson's side, he was going for a little bit of a fast cycle here on these spinning saw blades in the entrance to the Ginso tree for the Swamp Teleporter, but just flubbed a little bit of a jump there, getting it into the wall, as you see on the replay, and then wasn't quite able to get up as quickly as possible. It's a pretty difficult cycle to make. You may or may not see Terra go for it. You can actually go for that same cycle coming from this ability cell above here, which Terra does need for for Terra Break, but he is not going for it. He opted to just do the normal thing, which is, I think, only a second slower, so it's not that crazy.
Yeah, and didn't even attempt to go for the fast cycle. Understandable. And now Willson into the Ginso tree. I was seeing a sub 12 minute Ginso is always pretty nice. It's a great time.
That's pretty indicative of the type of skill level that Willson brings to play, as are these telehops, busting those out nice and quickly.
And ooh, man.
He's
close call off the gamer, but yeah, he's okay. He's gonna take another damage boost. Oh, getting stuck on the spikes. Take it close. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes his backup health right here, but nope, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. It's all good.
That. And in fact, he actually does want to be on low health here so that he can immediately set up that death for this what we call the Rasmus cycle here, named after a runner, M. Rasmus, who inadvertently discovered it in a tournament race. We found out, oh, actually, that's like half a second faster or something like that. So nice little time save for Willson there. Terra managing to make it through that second room of Ginso, also taking a little damage from the Gamer, and he'll take this top route, which is just a little bit kind of easier to deal with and a little safer as Wilson begins his mini boss.
All right, count the cycles. Let's see if Wilson can do a 4 cycle. I think he missed one though, but it is incredibly difficult to pull off.
Oh yeah, he saw that bottom right spawn, but he couldn't get over to it quickly enough. So, alas.
Still solid mini boss fight.
And done with it before Terra even gets there. So again, you can clearly see how this gap is just widening. As Wilson's early game play is just dominant right now. It's really, really hard to keep up with a runner, even if he'd gotten, you know, like a 12-minute Energon. So that alone is a very, very fast time. And then Terra coming in, you know, just a little bit slower than that even. And also, that looked like he's not really good for 4 cycle here either. So yeah, he'll. Oh, and he got a bottom right. Oof, dude. Oof.
But he's through. I think that was the same cycle count that Wilson got. So overall, not going to lose any time on that mini boss. But not going to gain any, which is it's tough. But Terra needs to like just keep playing consistently, not make any big mistakes, just to keep the gap from widening too much, and then hope Wilson has some trouble later on in the end game.
Yeah, you gotta stay in the hunt. Right now, Wilson is having a little bit of trouble in the mid game. Just a little bit of a mistake there, and so he is going to throw down a lower ledge save here, and he's having a lot of trouble with his double bashes right now. This is actually costing him a very significant amount of time. So he does manage to get up now, and giving a little bit of a window for Terra to catch up, but not enough to fully catch up just yet. And he is going to work on this key dupe here. That death needs to be very precisely placed. He does get it with the death coming within range of the door, so that after dying you can throw your keys into it, and that was very well executed by Wilson. Terra coming up right behind. He's going to set up his save momentarily. He's going to go for this top platform save, and he manages to get it. He makes use of that double bash, and his works.
Yeah, so that's definitely some time save for Terra there. Now Wilson almost at the end. Let's see really quick. Terra does get a successful key dupe, so nothing bad happening over there. Now Wilson done with the Ginso tree, just needs to wait for this door to open. He can teleport to Swamp, and we're seeing Swamp entry. I've seen pretty much everybody have trouble with this trick, at least at one point. I don't care how good you are, sometimes this line could just be a jerk.
Yeah, you know, this frog is
frog, yes.
an amphibian, and he does love the water. As a result, he wants to go back to his home in the water. The problem is, he's not an amphibian in the sense that he dies when he goes in the water for no apparent reason.
Just like completely dissolves instantly.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of acid is in that water.
Turns into a shower of XP. Yeah, instantly. So, so we're gonna hope to see Wilson not drown his frog. I almost said Frankie. But that's pretty precise trick that he's going to be setting up here. These bashes, he wants to get off as quickly as possible. Very well executed there. So his frog is in the safe spot on top of the spikes, which makes all the sense. He is a little bit far back, so he can't quite shoot the floor there. Does manage to get it now. Going to get the double bashes through. Breaks the ceiling and collects his ability cell, so he is through. Again, just another little few seconds here, so Terra's in the hunt. He's still there. And he's going to be going for his swamp entry right now as well.
All right, and if this is clean and gets the Frankie, man, I can't even. What is this enemy, Wooligan? But it looks like he's through. Okay, gets the cell, and yeah, so that's some time save over Wilson there. So just a quick update. You know, these two runners had a 39-second delta at bash, and Terra was able to close that down to 25 seconds by exiting Ginso, and may even bring some of that back here by Stomp Tree. So still keeping it close.
Yeah, we'll find out as soon as Terra gets there. Wilson leaving the tree right now. They'll high five in just a little moment here as they pass one another. Wilson taking it a little bit close on his bash leaving the Stomp Tree. You only really get one damage boost on those spikes. Wilson making the most of the invulnerability frames to walk across them. And there's the Stomp Tree for Terra, as Wilson going to be making use of Ringo very shortly. The second time, this time to get this ability cell. 25 seconds at the Stomp Tree.
And I was a little concerned that that frog was going to roll off the edge, but you know, Wilson takes the safe, jumps off the right wall, and was able to get through successfully. Now Wilson's coming up on a cutscene skip here. See if he gets it.
It's a very precise setup here. Does have a good position. He gets through. So you don't have to see a cutscene, and it looks like he did nothing, but he did, in fact, perform a rather difficult skip there that saves about 17 seconds.
And
Speaking of difficult skips.
oh yeah, so we saw Willson doing this double bash strat to redirect this shot up to skip a 2-second cutscene. It's a pain to do, and if you mess up a double bash like that, you just go face plant into spikes, you have to watch it anyway.
Yep.
So interestingly, we saw Terra and Willson both do this in practice for like the 15 minutes leading up to this race, and Terra seemed to be having it more consistently. We'll see if Terra chooses to go for it. Places that save there, he's going to go for it, man.
This is, I would call this inadvisable at best, but for Terra, like, there's not much to lose by trying to go for something really risky. Like, the worst case is he loses the race, but he was going to lose the race anyway, so.
Unfortunately, he gets the double bash all the way to the door, but the last shot's angle was slightly off, so ended up having to watch that cutscene anyway. But didn't take damage from Spike, so at least he has that going for him.
Yeah, and it's time neutral against Willson, who had pretty much the same exact failure. A little bit of a rough time with the Frankie there for Terra, but he does manage to get it to follow him in. That's actually pretty important. It's a decent time save here when you leave the Charge Flame tree, and you don't want to have to use Charge Flame to go around the normal way. Willson, meanwhile, is into Valley. He's going to be stomping his peg to head on into what we affectionately refer to as the left side of the map, because we are super creative in the Ori community.
I mean, it's short, it's simple, and it's exactly what it is. So, don't need to complicate anything. If that rolls off the tongue, it rolls off the tongue, and we'll keep doing it that way. If somebody has a better idea, let me know. I'm interested, but left side is pretty good.
Sunship Sanctuary. Wait. Crap.
No, we killed that off last tournament, Willson.
Oh, all right. Willson heading up for Fast Stompless now. Will be going to aim his shot. Looking to get pretty good aim there. He seemed very confident in that pretty much instantly. His second spider is going to shoot a little bit slowly, but he should be okay to get his cell. That looks great. He is successful and is going to pick up Feather pretty soon. Terra coming in to do the same thing pretty shortly.
Yeah, and as Terra makes his way over to Fast Stompless, this is, well, momentarily we're going to see the big difference in the routes between Willson and Terra. As we level up Charge Dash here and head into Sorrow, Wilson's going to be going for the Crazy Juggle strat, which is insanely difficult. We'll see if he can pull it off. And Terra gets a good Fast Stompless, so not going to be losing any time there. And now here we go. Pay close attention on Wilson's screen here. We're going to see some crazy stuff.
Indeed, and that starts with Sorrow Bash right here. Of course, with a rocket jump before that. And now Sorrow Bash momentarily. We're going to make use of this bird here to get into Sorrow significantly earlier than intended. And that is very nice bird position. Actually, almost too nice, practically out of reach, but Willson manages to make his way in. He's going to break this ceiling with this frog, and then he's going to do the Crazy Juggle route. And the interesting thing to note about this is it's actually not faster inside Sorrow itself. It's just that you don't have to spend an extra ability cell to perform the Terror Break at the top. But every single one of these charge dashes is a 2 to 3 frame input that if Willson botches even slightly, he will damage the frog and kill it, but he manages to avoid doing that and gets to the top here. Terra will have a much easier time in just a moment.
Wow, well done. So now Willson heading up to the Sunstone first, but we'll have to back down to the charge jump tree. You're going to see Terra head left immediately, dashing through this super scary spike room, and he's through safely. So yeah, Terra going to be picking up the charge jump tree slightly before Willson, but then has to proceed and grab the Sunstone that Wilson's currently doing.
Yeah, so they'll high five as Terra's on the way out. You'll see Terra carrying the save anywhere so he can do his Terra break just below the ceiling in Sorrow on the way up to Sunstone. And yes, that is named for this Terra. This is the Terra who has found a huge number of important tricks in this game, as they do pass one another here. Unfortunately for Terra, just knowing the trick or having invented the trick is not enough right now to make up this gap between him and Willson. He really needs a few mistakes from Willson, and so far, none are forthcoming.
And man, I just want to comment. I saw Willson doing some stomp cancels through the spike room. This guy is nuts, man. And oh man, doesn't quite get high enough, and stomps back into the spikes. Those will just kill you instantly at the health we're at.
Yeah, everything in Sorrow is 4 damage minimum. So some nice stomp cancels there by Willson, and if he touched any of the spikes on either of those, he would die instantly. So getting the weave on the way down, that is lovely. Nice little like 40 frame time save or something. But man, it just shows the level of confidence and the level of skill that Wilson's playing with right now. Wanted to throw down a safety save, so there it is. Collected a little bit of energy to do so. So he'll be heading deeper into Misty, and he will be burning literally all of his energy. That is...
And he takes a death. That's good thing he placed that safety save, but that was several seconds, and Terra immediately now much closer to Willson.
The funny thing, Fan, is actually that might have been a net time save taking that death, because he was down
he
to
had
zero
no energy. Yeah,
it would have been very slow to go through some of these sections, but that death immediately got him back to full, and I can't even rule out the possibility that he intentionally took it. But in any case, Terra is now pretty much right behind Wilson. That's going to make this a lot more interesting as we get towards the end of this race. Wilson coming into the Satsu's Torch cutscene at 23:17 or so. Terra coming in at 23:24. So this is not even a 10-second difference right now, Fan.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, this went from like a 25, 30-second delta to under 10 seconds with one mistake. And that's what can happen in this late game. And Terra makes it through through the spike cave.
Yeah,
well, that's not really the spike cave, but it's kind of similar.
There are spikes. It's cave. Yeah. He took 3 damage. He was at 1 HP, and now you see that this deficit is less than the total amount of time for a tree animation. So that is really crazy position for Terra to be in, and I believe Terra is watching his opponent. I'm not 100% sure. I know Willson is, so Wilson's got to be feeling the pressure right now, but Terra is as well, I'm sure.
And once again, remember that at the end of the run, Wilson's going to have to be picking up another health cell. He's down to 2 energy already, whereas Terra is sitting at 4. So, depending on how this goes, Wilson may be finding himself low on energy. But also one thing I want to point out that Wilson's doing this all on 3 HP. Terra has 4 HP. If Willson even so much as grazes these spikes, he's dead, and then that gives Terra the lead.
Yep, and he would be going all the way back to Climb Tree, which is a really substantial distance to return. Does burn another energy here, so he's going to need to do a slightly slower strat, charge dashing up to this dude, and he is fine to get up. Terra managed to save that energy as Wilson evaporates the mini-boss. Missed one little bit of damage on the second one of them, but is fine. Terra gets his quick kill slightly more cleanly, and he is right behind Willson. And this is the part of the game, Fan, where there's not that much difference between the top runners and the next tier down as far as how long this is going to take.
Yeah, this can come down to, provided they do everything else cleanly, door warp attempts, grenade jump attempts, any of that. There's... I don't know who's going to win, man. It's so close. This is everything I hoped for, like, in an Ori race is, Willson definitely has, like, a better time, a better PB, but Terra hanging in this well. We only had a 7-second delta exiting Misty. That is absurd.
That's madness. And right now, Wilson's certainly feeling it, Terra's certainly feeling it, but you can't see that in their play. They're both executing at their top level right now, as Willson setting up the long save anywhere here to carry all the way down to the cutscene. Terra's not going to carry that. It is a small time save, but at this point, everything matters. Willson taking one extra dash out of that laser, which might or might not affect how his laser cycle works on the way out here. Terra, meanwhile, is going to have to set up a save and then activate his save anywhere, and he's going to level up Ultra Magnet. And now, even something like that could help him out on this Enter Horror segment as he's trying to catch up to Willson here.
Yeah, Ultra Magnet, it just makes it so any drop from an enemy will go to you. The magnet is very, very strong. And, oh, Willson messes up a charge jump, takes his death. We're virtually tied. He's going for grenade jumps. Terra's not, and oh my gosh, as we're exiting Misty, they are neck and neck, and Terra gets the dash glide over. Terra's in the lead.
And Terra is going to need to wait on his laser cycle here, but so does Willson, and Willson has to wait on the Baneling and an extra laser cycle.
And Terra rocket jumps through. He's at the home stretch, man. Oh my gosh.
This is some very clean movement for Terra, and he's going to be going around the bottom, same way as Willson, but Fan, he does not need to pick up a 6th health cell.
Yeah, Terra is done on health. Wilson still has to get one more as he's entering Horus. So that's going to be another second. So this lead from Terra is a little bit bigger. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's going to come down to door warp, final escape. I feel like we say this so many times, but that's the truth. That's what's going to happen. And we'll see on Terra's screen over here. It's going to be going over this little breakable wall on the floor. There it is. Wilson's gonna have to go down there and get that.
That's about 4 seconds for Willson, so that is going to cost him some time. However, he may be able to save some by performing grenade jumps on the way through here, and he's got one ace in the hole as Terra takes a death! My goodness, that is catastrophic for him right now, fam.
Wow, that's so unfortunate from Terra. And now making a couple mistakes, maybe the nerves got to him, but yeah, all the way back to that teleporter. Unfortunately, that gives Willson a commanding lead now.
And wow, I was just about to talk about the ace in the hole for Willson, which is the warmth skip trick, which we may or may not see from him. I think we'll probably still see it because of his, lack of confidence about, like, right now, how much of a lead he has. But first, he's got to get through door warp.
Oh man, is this it? Is this going to be a thing? Second try, no good. Terra entering.
He still needs to wait for this cutscene, and Willson does get the third try door warp, and he is going to feel like he needs to warm skip. He's got 4 energy, so he can do it, and here it is, this precise menuing with a frame-perfect input. If he can get this, he is going to be able to continue the final escape. He is not exiting and re-entering the door. That means that if he dies here, he's going to be in dire straits, but he makes it through all the blind movement fan. He can continue the rest of the escape.
Oh man, now Terra entering the final escape as well. Yeah, but look at this. I want to point out, Wilson's down to 1 energy. So if he loses this energy, he can't grenade jump. So he needs to get this within the first or second try, which, Wilson, he's very good at this. I wouldn't expect it, but we've already saw him fail some grenade jumps earlier in the run.
We'll see. It would take 2 failures to deprive him, 2 specific failures to deprive him of the ability to do it. Here he goes. He's going to set up his position. Take 1 is good, and he is through and will salvage victory here from what was an incredibly uncertain race right there at the end.
Wow, that was really heartbreaking for Terra. That Baneling he's such a jerk sometimes, and it gets the best of us at some point. But now Terra lining up for his grenade jump, nails it first try. Wow, that was. What a race, Willson. What a way to start off the series.
Yeah, GG to both runners, but of course to Willson for taking the 1-0 lead in the series here. So he's going to have that commanding position to be able to come away and clinch this match and move on to the semifinals. Coming out of here with a 29-49. I want to go back real quick as Terra wraps up as well. I want to talk about that death that he took to the Baneling, because I think what happened there, this is kind of a real tragedy, but I think what happened there is he went for a Terra jump, which is, again, another trick named after Terra. It's a frame-perfect jump. If you land on the ground while you already have some speed going, and you jump off it frame perfectly, you continue your momentum. And I think he missed it. And I think that he just didn't manage to get his charge jump off again in time. And that is just the most tragic thing I've heard in a long time.
Yeah. But, look at this final time, 30-13 from Terra. That is still an incredibly good time, even taking into account that Baneling death. And that's 24 seconds between the two. So I think this shows, Terra is capable of beating Willson in a match. We saw it just go slightly wrong at the end. Well, wrong in a big way. And
for both of them, though.
Yeah, so... And, Willson, had some mistakes at the end. That's what we were talking about before the race started, that, Terra just needed to play cleanly. And if Willson, goes for these more intense, more difficult strats and has trouble with them, that's where Terra can capitalize. But,
Exactly.
Willson can also improve this time quite a bit. He's very capable. He's got a 28 PB.
He got a 28 earlier today.
Yeah, so...
All right, well... That's going to do it for Game 1. Game 2 is coming up. We are going to take a quick break, let the runners rest and relax for just a few minutes, and then we will be right back, so stick around here on Speed Gaming.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament 2019 edition. Game one, wow, that was exciting. Willson just up really close right until the end, until one tragic mistake from Terra. But what are we looking at for game two here?
Well, I think we're going to see Willson feel pretty energized from that victory. But you got to think that Terra's confidence has been boosted as well because he was so close behind Willson. He was able to play so well. He was on PB pace for the majority of that race. If it hadn't been for that death there, actually, he probably would have PB'd, in fact. Which you can hardly do much better than that to try to defeat an opponent who outclasses you by a minute and a half on PB, right?
Right. No, Terra played pretty much as good as he could have. He just needs to do that one more time. Hope Willson makes some similar mistakes towards the end. Maybe a double wall jump. No, I don't wish that on anybody. We have seen it happen. We have seen it happen.
Oh, goodness.
We don't want to see that. I'm just joking there.
It's too late. You said the words.
Right.
You're responsible for what happens now.
All right. Well, we'll see. I can rest easy after we get past the 3.5 minute mark. Hopefully the 3.5 minute mark.
Wow, you're even wishing for him to get a 3:30 wall jump? Come on.
No, I'm just saying. I'm leaving enough margin in there, so even if they have to go for a backup piece of health or something, then just no death. I don't want to see any deaths.
All right, we're playing the video game. Terra and Willson both off to the races, literally as it were, and they'll both throw down their save and hopefully not die to a rhino here. I guess the one good thing about this compared to, for example, randomizer, where you don't actually have to throw that save down to continue on, if you die to the rhino, it's a much shorter retry. These are the things we talk about in the early game.
Yeah, look how synced we are, though. Just showing the class of these runners getting to the first skill at the same exact time.
It is actually, being a little serious, it is actually this early game is a good bellwether on whether you're feeling confident on certain kinds of things. Like right there, Terra flubbing a shot on
and
that
taking
Frankie.
a hit from the Frankie, so some early damage there from Terra.
And that shouldn't be a huge deal, but he'll just need to keep it in the back of his mind. Usually you don't take damage on that fight. So yeah, already kind of looking a little shaky, but maybe that just means, he needs a couple seconds to kind of settle in, and then he'll be fine. You never really know how that sort of thing will
and
go.
Willson, what have I done?
It's over. This is going to be so spaghetti filled. Willson took another damage there, actually, so he's on... No, he's on 2 HP because he picked up health from that slime.
And I think Terra also picked up 2 HP as well, or not 2 HP, just picked up another health cell. Health pickup.
Thing.
Health cell is coming up later.
Health ball.
Health ball. And Terra, unfortunately, getting the RNG drop there from that slime, another health ball.
He does.
Wait, he dodged it. Wow, that was
that's very
incredible.
Nice. Yeah, so that protects his quick ghost door setup. He'll still be at 1 HP, and he can drop into the water and die immediately, or he can jump off the log because this game has a really hard time telling if you are trying to drop through a log platform. But he gets through. He will be going for that 4th health, and Willson will not. And since he was already behind a little bit, that's going to widen the effect of that health cell pickup right here.
Yeah, Willson, once again, just keeping an eye on his HP. Sitting at a comfortable 2. I think Terra, now with that health cell pickup, has the full 4.
Or 3.
Or 3, yeah. It's fine. There's enough health to safely get to the wall jump tree, and then I could rest easy for the rest of the race.
Willson coming in is going to do a successful flower skip there, just making sure not to get bopped by that flower, which just causes him to level up early. He does really want to keep careful control.
No, Terra.
Yeah, Terra taking that hit off that bramble. That's 2 damage, and he's probably going to want to take this flower to avoid dying. So now he is confident, but he does take the level up. That's not as big a deal for him. He's not doing genocide. Willson, it would have been a big deal, but he manages to avoid.
All right, so pretty similar times going into the wall jump, even with that spaghetti. Terra 1 or 2 seconds behind, or 4 seconds behind what he got last time. But, doesn't matter. We'll be getting over that later.
Yeah, 14 seconds, no big deal, whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
All right, Willson picking up a pretty good chunk of XP there on the way out of wall jump, and we'll be continuing on up with this very clean movement. I really love these, when you watch the top runners do this movement out of wall jump. It's not just the late part of the game with the charge dashes and the rocket jumps and things like that that displays the runner's mastery. This part of the game, too, just moving efficiently, as you see Terra make some very, very lovely movements there, climbing up out of wall jump and bopping off that Trojan log there to escape. Just some really well-practiced movements here that are very precise and difficult to do in a lot of situations.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you like look at like two separate people, one of the top runners, one low down the leaderboard, and you watch them do this early part of the game, you may not immediately notice anything. But you go compare the times, and like suddenly one of them's 10, 15 seconds ahead, and you're like, what the heck happened? I mean, I had that experience watching some of these guys where I look at my wall jump times and like, where is this time coming from? And like you said, it's all these very, very tiny, minute, barely noticeable things that are just constantly being performed.
On the other hand, Blackroot Burhurst, we're going to see kind of more of the discrete 8-second chunks being gained or lost. Willson coming in again with that pretty high XP count, meaning that he levels off the first slime, and he uses a crouch there to just lower the camera so that his level up explosion kills 2 slimes at once. Pretty clever strat that all kind of dates back to the originator of that strat, Sigma. Very cool technique to use, and allows you to get that faster platform cycle. So not quite a high five there. Willson just going past as Terra's trying to catch up. But deficit as they entered Blackroot Burrows was around 15 seconds, and that's pretty similar to what it was with wall jump as well.
And Willson takes the hit, should be fine. His cycle still should be okay. And Terra, I think that was the first try getting up there to that XP orb, so a little bit of an improvement there. And we'll see if Willson can collect the XP this time on the slime he missed on the first go around.
Man, Terra in mid-air doing a very nice dodge on one of those spitter projectiles there to avoid getting hit by it. So that was pretty slick movement, and he does manage to avoid some extra damage there and possibly losing a little bit of extra time. Willson misses 10 of the XP again, circling it again. It's one of those things, you know, you don't want to, you manipulate this platform in the next room by when you start moving, and after you've started moving there, Fant, you know, you don't have any leeway. You have to get the XP as quickly as you can, and if you don't, well, nerds to you. Better kill another slime later.
It's like, would you rather, you know, waste 2 seconds killing a slime later, or 8 seconds now waiting for an entire cycle to get the XP now? So obviously we're going to take the former option.
So there we are in the dash room, and we're going to have, again, a little bit of a not quite high five, a little bit of a whiff. As, Willson is going to be setting up his cutscene skip here. Looks like he is, again, 36 shy of leveling, which is the same number he was at last time. That necessitated killing an extra slime. Terra should be a lot closer on his number, and Willson is going to be picking up dash right now.
All right, so far, you know, Willson looking pretty similar to how he did in the first race, down to the same XP missed on the slime. But Terra's having a little tiny bit more trouble. Like nothing too major, but still. Like that's seconds that Terra doesn't want to give up at this point.
Right. He did have a little bit of trouble hitting his cycle in Blackroot Burrows as well, so he didn't even go for the reload, which meant he lost basically the full 8 seconds instead of about 4 compared to Willson. So that raises the delta to around 24 seconds. Thanks again to our truck for bringing us these insights. So going through, Willson going to look again to get that optimal setup. It does look good so far. There's some really kind of difficult to notice cues as far as where the Froggy's jumping that allow you to tell whether or not you're going to get that one less jump at the end, but it does look like Willson has it. So there you go. The Froggy just jumps a little bit beyond that overhang. Willson gets his level up safely into Death Gauntlet as Terra finishes his Froggy walk up as well.
I'm curious if he's going to once again go for the Death Glide.
Well, he made liars out of us last time, but this time, okay, I see how it is, Willson. Thanks.
Well, you see, he checked his HP there for a split second. He was down to 1. So like, man, if you're slightly off on that jump, you're going to face plant into that little spore and you're dead. And then that's like a minute plus lost, going all the way back down to the dash tree. And didn't want to mess with that. Now, Willson, once again, going to be going for the early Grotto cycle. Meanwhile, Terra makes it cleanly through the Death Glide, and Willson is through.
Yeah,
Well done. So that's 2 in a row.
Indeed, and that cycle is difficult to get. I mean, you saw Terra miss it before, but normally a player of Terra's caliber is very consistent at this type of thing. So he's going to be hoping to get it this time and make up on that 8-second loss he had last time. But it is a very precise
And he's
trick.
in. All
Gets
right.
it this time. Very nice. So that avoids losing that little extra bit of time. Oh, wow. Okay. Willson getting munched twice right there, actually. on the way to double jump. 2 quick deaths, which, I use the word quick to mean that he died quickly, but unfortunately the amount of time lost was pretty substantial. And
Ellen Terra once again, once again for this race is the other runner who runs to the spike. They were clean last time, but man,
oof. So not quite as much advantage as he could have taken of those deaths, but he does manage to save a little bit of time compared to Willson, and that will help him catch up and get back in this race.
Yeah, and that pretty much erases like the early game trouble that Terra had. And I think now like this is now 11-second delta. I think that's closer than what we had last race. So, all that stuff that happened earlier, well, doesn't matter. Terra's now in a better position than he was in the last race. And Willson missing
twice, but not 3 times. 3rd time's the charm there for Willson on the grotto skip, but Terra now getting that opportunity.
Willson falls down. Wait, did he fall down? I was looking back and forth, left and right, and I saw him fall, and I was like, what?
I assume he went for the baguette jump, and he might have missed it, that little awkward jump over the same overhang near the energy pickup. But yeah, this race has gotten very close thanks to the grotto skip flubs and some of the other stuff. Terra, showing off there with some cute little movement. I'll have to go time that, see if that's faster. But some pretty nice movement. He's right in behind Willson here on this rekindle skip. So Terra knows exactly what he's got to do here. He just has to stay in the hunt. He's got to say to his opponent, hey, I'm right behind you. If you make one mistake, I'm right here. I'm breathing down your neck. And if he does that, maybe that baits Willson into a mistake of some sort. Maybe that induces some panic.
Yeah, in the downtime between the races, we did have a little bit of a chat with our runners. And Terra did mention that he's not watching the restream, but we know Willson is. So Terra's not going to be feeling that pressure of whether or not he's ahead, whether or not he's behind. But Willson's keeping a close eye on that.
On the other hand, given Terra's PB pace last time, and he may very well be on PB pace again right now, that might add a different kind of pressure for him. Because, I mean, even if he's not running with, Willson getting bopped by the Frankie, so he's not going to be able to get this fast cycle again the 2nd time in a row. Even if you're not, even if you don't have your splits open to see the direct comparison against your PB, if you're a runner with a sub 30 time, if you're on PB pace. You know what the numbers are. If you look at your timer, you can tell if you're on PB pace.
I believe in the last race we saw Willson get like just under a 12-minute Ginso, so pretty similar story here. And Terra, I think, was like 12:05, 12:04, so pretty similar pace from both of them.
Yep, Terra losing a little bit of time, just kind of having some trouble getting up on that block on the way out of the swamp teleporter, but he's not that far behind. Willson did come in with that 11:53. Thank you to Poogle in the truck pointing that out, and Terra coming in with the 12:05 again. So 12-second difference into Enter Ginso, and here, Willson going for those telehops. He's going to try to save a little bit more time and put a little more gap in there. He does get some very nice telehops there, so that is a good little time save, and this bottom route too will get him another 1 second or so.
Yep, we saw Terra go for the upper route. Again, just a safer route. You don't have to worry about taking too much damage there. Oh, nope, Terra's going to go for it.
Okay, he might have actually taken the top route because of HP on the last race.
Yeah, definitely.
That may be. So with the Rasmus cycle execution from Willson, he's able to get that slightly faster projectile here. And Terra, in fact, is going to go for it as well. So his he won't save quite as much time. He had to take 2 hits there, but he will save a little bit of that time and just kind of help him stay in this race here.
All right, now I do remember last race, Terra entered the Ginso mini boss after Willson was already done. Now it looks like Terra's gonna be a little bit faster entering the mini boss while Willson is still in progress with it. So if he gets another 5 cycle, which looks like Willson got a 5. Wait, did he get a 4 cycle there?
No, that was 5.
Yeah, that was 5. Okay,
just a few extra shots on the 5th one, but it was 5. Terra is looking like he's gonna have much the same. He's pretty close, but just not quite enough to be able to get that 4 cycle. But he does get a clean 5. He will be continuing on now.
Yeah, now coming up soon after we get Bash, we're gonna have the key dupe again. That's another point where we saw Willson having a little bit of trouble, and if he does that again and Terra keeps going as he's going, this is outside of like a little bit in BRB, a little bit on the way to wall jump. This has been really great from Terra.
Yeah, he's playing up to his potential as he has to do in order to really have a chance in this race. And an interesting thing about these back-to-back races, these best of threes, is that Wilson, as he finds a micro ledge there, Wilson doesn't have an opportunity between races to really practice any of the things that caused him problem in a race. If he
Oh, and
has,
he misses a shot there on the left, so like little things like that. That's another couple seconds for Terra.
yeah, just not having the opportunity to really, if you have these problems in a qualifier race, you've got like days possibly to fix it up. He does fix this one this time, so he's able to draw on his knowledge and his confidence to bring that back and make sure he doesn't mess that up. But Terra's right there behind him in that missed shot cycle, certainly doing him no favors, Wilson.
Yeah, he had a little close call here on the bottom right in that replay where the shot was just at the top of the hitbox. I thought he was going to miss it, but no, it was good enough. He made it through, and Terra, both of them are good on Kidu.
It's good. You really hate to see either runner mess up the key dupe of all things, because it's just so crushing. It just sends you so far back down to the bottom of this thing, and then costs you like, I don't know, it's like 15 seconds, so it's not numerically the worst, but it feels real bad.
Indeed. All right, Wilson done with the Genso tree. Terra close behind. They're just narrowly out of range of teleporting at the same time. This is great. I'm hoping we see it as close throughout as we did last race.
Well, we're going to find out if Swamp Entry is going to make a difference in that regard. So we're going to get there pretty soon. Wilson was doing the blind movement on the last run. Terra was not. There's minimal time difference between the two, so it's really kind of up to preference. It is very slightly faster to do the blind movement, but when you get a menu bug, as Willson just did, this weird bug where sometimes when you exit to the main menu, it just does not register your inputs. That costs you all that time that you would have saved.
Yeah, and Terra just opting for the cutscene, so does have to worry about the laser coming back, but Terra's done this enough. He knows what he's doing, and much better position on the frog this time from Wilson. It's going to have a much easier time. Oh, but misses the second shot.
He was going for that Ronnie strat where he wanted to get the ability cell animation before bashing the shot, as Terra is doing here as well. Terra's shot is really high, though.
Through.
Yeah, that shot was really high, and unfortunately, it's that phase through is based on the speed of the shot. He gets on the second try. Wilson got on his second try as well, so Terra's was a little bit more time loss, but ultimately, it's really just one failure for each of them, and that Wilson is going to be able to get to the Stomp Tree, and Terra will be just behind here.
Wow, still anybody's race at this point. Terra, not making any mistakes to keep him out of this. Wilson still doing enough to maintain his lead, but man, Terra just biting at those heels, nipping at those heels. What's the phrase? I can't even remember.
Both work, probably.
Oh no! Willson takes a death, lands in that dirty water. It looks clean and gorgeous and drinkable, but no.
Nope.
And just with that,
now
Terra has closed the gap significantly.
Yeah, at Stomp Tree, we were looking at a 16-second delta. That's not 16 seconds anymore. That's nearly even. It's on the order of 3 or 4, which is pretty crazy. Terra having a little bit of a flub on those platforms trying to get out of Swamp, so a little bit of time lost there, but ultimately it's still very, very close. Wilson kind of taking some of this movement a little tentatively, too. Might be, kind of having those nerves pop up a little bit. That is okay for Wilson, as long as he's able to just cleanly execute everything. One of the most important things you can do when you have, Wilson's got the execution advantage, he's got that skill advantage, he can at least, anything that he might be afraid of making a mistake, like this Kuro cutscene skip, just take a little bit, tiny bit more safely.
Terra needs to answer with the Kuro cutscene skip, but unfortunately messes up the bash. Gonna reload and go for it again. This still saves time if he manages to get it on the second try. He needs to get this, and he does. Okay,
Yep.
Well done, Terra. So unfortunately, that death from Wilson earlier in the Stomp Tree has basically been erased. We're back to roughly the same delta, but
we're back to Willson doing this cutscene skip again. We'll see if he pulls it off this time. He sure doesn't. Well, Terra told us between races, I am done doing this crap. So, of course, he's going to skip it. I was really worried I was going to have to finish that sentence with, of course he's going to do it again. But he decided to show common sense. So he will gain back another fair bit of time. It's like a 10-second time loss if you don't pull off that skip successfully, as Willson did not. Terra does manage to lure his Frankie quickly this time, so he is once again right behind Willson coming into charge.
This is incredible. Wow, I'm so happy that the race is turning out this way once again. And Wilson starting his long save, or at the end of his long save anywhere, gets cleanly over the cutscene. Terra, wow, right on his heels.
And a slightly better dash glide for Willson, which is a very minor thing, but very minor things seem to matter a lot in this race. So Terra manages to get over there, but just loses a slight additional bit of time. But he is coming right on in behind Willson here to having his bird bonk the tree. That's pretty awkward. But he will be stomping this peg right after Willson does. So this looks like about 7 seconds. Willson getting bonked by the frog there. He's down on 1 HP already. Ooh.
He should be fine. Keyword should be fine. But
I have a desk and
yeah.
I'm knocking on it. It's probably wood.
It's like that weird like laminate stuff. I don't think it's actually wood.
I have no idea.
Anyway, back to the race. Back to the race. Yeah, so fast stompless. Both runners. Oh, Willson has to take a second pass there, box on the roof, but you know, it should be pretty textbook at this point for runners of this caliber. See that? I don't want to comment on whether or not a shot looks good because I realize I cannot tell, and apparently it was. So, well done, Willson.
Yeah, I was. Whew, my heart stopped. I thought that was low. I didn't even look at Terra's shot. That's probably for the best. No one knows.
It's probably good.
It's impossible for commentators to tell. If the runner goes, it's probably good.
It's
hey,
fine.
look, it's good.
Everything's fine.
Good. So both runners getting fast stompless, which is, of course, super important for both of them. And Willson will be picking up Feather just shy of 2030, 2023 for Willson. Terra coming in here right behind him. We're going to see that in just a moment as Wilson's about to start his Sorrow Bash. 2035 for Terra, so 12 seconds. Oh, okay. Just kidding, Terra's in the lead.
Yep. Just like that.
Oh, the bird said no, and Willson took a death trying to get into Sorrow Pass. Now Terra is going to be able to head on in. And again, there is no difference in the length of time spent in Sorrow between Crazy Juggle and Terra Break, except for the execution level of the runners. That's it. There's no implicit advantage here for Willson. It's just who's going to play faster.
But Terra does have the easier time. What Terra's route is significantly easier to pull off execution-wise. Doesn't mean it's easy. It's still hard, dashing through all these spikes. If he gets it through cleanly. Willson, though, has to juggle this frog perfectly. And
he is up there.
Through.
Oh man, it was a tense moment there. He had a slight flub, but he does manage to get it up. I don't know that you would call that the most optimal possible Crazy Juggle. He might have lost some of the time that he could theoretically have saved, but overall, still very good. Didn't kill the frog. That's the main part. And so now Terra's going to be very, very shortly behind, falling up to Sunstone, as Willson is going to reverse course and head down to charge jump.
God, this save anywhere up and dashing through the spikes, it gives me a heart attack every time. Like, I can get my week's worth of cardio exercise just by watching Ori races like this. It's so nerve-wracking. But yeah, this is looking very, very good for Terra. We should see Terra exiting with a lead.
Yep. Just as he came in with the lead, he should leave with approximately the same lead. If Willson, through virtue of things like those stomp cancels through the spikes, is able to save a few seconds here, that will certainly help him as they come into Misty. But Wilson's going to have to wait for a tree animation. Terra is going to have to wait for this Sunstone to fall down upon him. And there it is. Actually, Willson might be getting out slightly before Terra.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that occurred.
Yeah, Wilson's got a very, very slight lead here. Impressive. I don't know where it went, but
Whew. Somewhere. I mean, I'm utterly unsure, but Wilson's in the lead now. That execution by Willson to be able to reverse that deficit going to Sorrow is quite impressive. It really is. There's effectively no difference between those routes. We've had it measured by the same runner, Lucidus, the world record holder, measured both of them.
Spooky moment for Terra there, actually bashed in the wrong direction, but he recovers safely, doesn't die. And Willson out of energy.
Yeah, that's not a safe situation to be in here. He's not going to be able to save. He's not going to be able to throw in charge dashes here. He's going...
Terra! Charge dashes into the spikes, but he's okay. He's down to 1 HP.
It's fine. No one needs more than one.
It's okay. They're equal, and now we're tied at the torch cutscene.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. What a race.
All right, well, Terra needs to not nick anything, but it's the same situation for Willson anyway. If he even so much as sniffs these spikes, Terra throwing in the charge dash with a stomp as they go into charge climb tree. Terra's right behind,
Wow.
literally 2 seconds here separating the two runners.
I think it was even like less than 2 seconds. That's we are synced at the second half of Misty. Important note though, we're up to full HP once again. Willson has no room for error in this second half of Misty. Anything will kill him. Terra has that one piece of buffer, and Willson already down to 1 HP. So now literally any enemy, if so much as touches them, he is dead.
Any passing breeze might result in a death to Willson. He is going to be doing some extra charge dashes there. Does go down to 2 energy. He did last time as well. I think this is probably his energy route, so he is probably confident here. Manages not to get hit by that dropping slime. So does Terra, but ooh, it exploded right after he went by. So that's scary. Oh no, Wilson's gonna take a death.
No!
He has no way to recover here. He is down into the spikes, and he is all the way back to Climb Tree, and Terra is now in a commanding position.
Wow, this is amazing for Terra, but Terra putting that 4 HP to work, he face planted into some of those spikes. It still has 3 energy, but 1 HP is always scary in Misty, even at the mini boss. If you just like mistime something, you're dead. But Terra, here we go. Can he cleanly do the Misty mini boss? And he does.
Cool.
He's gonna get that level up, get that nice, refreshing HP refill.
And Willson taking another death and going back to Climb Tree again. This is exactly what Terra needs. He needed Willson to have not just a little bit of a mistake, but a huge one. And that is huge. That is really going to help Terra out. There's so much room for error now for Terra. And again, you know, that difference between the top runners versus those that next tier down. Terra's execution is not that much worse than Wilson's in this late game. So, you know, time-wise, Willson can't just overpower him on the rest of the way here. Even Warmth Skip might not save him in this race.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, like 14 seconds,
14 seconds
for the
yeah.
warm skip, and Terra's got a little bit more than 14 seconds of a lead right now. He's already teleported to Sunken Glades, heading down to the final skill tree, Light Grenade. Now, important, Terra's not watching the restream. He doesn't know that he's in this lead, so Terra's just going to do what he always does. He's going to play the game as best as he can. So I don't think you're going to see any like extra safety strats or anything from him to try and hang on to this lead. He's just going to do what he's practiced, what he knows how to do. But Willson knows he's behind. He's going to have to go for some crazy strats, if that's even enough, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think at this point now Wilson's in the unenviable position of hoping for his opponent to make some mistakes. And, you know, maybe that'll happen. Terra's on very good pace there, I want to add. This is a 26-25 grenade tree. That is very well sub 30 pace, which is incredible, and also within 10 seconds of his PB. Could easily be incredibly nerve-inducing for him, but we'll see as he again continues to go for these, you know, these consistent strats. Willson carrying a save anywhere all the way from the teleporter, and also unfortunately missing his dash glide over the slow zone there. Looks like Terra is plus 4 seconds on his PB. Shout out again to Poogle in the truck giving us that stat. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that boulder there. That was just right next to him.
It's
fine.
Everything's fine. All right. So Terra doing the final teleport of the game, and now I'm sure right now he's thinking about that Baneling and what it did to him last race.
Maybe he has learned not to Terra jump there. I don't know. We'll see.
Or is he stubborn enough where he's going to do it again? We'll see.
I mean, he is Scottish, so, you know, whatever that means. There it is. He does not need to take that help, so he's able to bypass it. Even, the interesting thing is, if he knew he were this far ahead, he would be able to take that health cell, and it would utterly eliminate any possibility of death on the final escape. He goes for the Terra jump anyway. He still gets it.
He's just making a fool of us.
What a guy. And the double as well. He got the second one too while I was exasperatedly rolling my eyes.
All right, Willson has collected his 4th health cell, now teleporting. Door warp attempts for Terra. He got it twice last time. Can he improve? Yes, he can.
Sure can.
First try for Terra. And now he just needs to make it through the final escape. Doesn't really even have to worry about the grenade jump. He doesn't realize that, but if he somehow misses on energy, he'd be having a heart attack and looking at the IRC. I know I would.
Yeah. So Terra is going to begin his final escape as Willson is approaching as quickly as he possibly can. He is doing everything that's within his power, but he needs Terra to drown in this swim, basically. And
Terra, throwing in some grenade jumps there. Beautiful.
Yep. And Terra, for his part, is going to do everything possible not to drown. PB does not seem totally within reach for Terra, but a sub 30 definitely is, which is an incredibly good time and a very convincing argument to take game 2 here. So here we go. Here comes the final swim. There's 2 damage before that first fish.
And
That's a very safe number. Yeah, he is fine. And here's the final grenade jump in.
All right, so bonking. It's all fine. Setting up. Hopefully no soft lock here. And Terra is through. He's done it. He's tied up the series. We are going to game 3.
Deciding game 3 coming up for Terra as Willson doing the warm skip and unfortunately taking a death on his way through. And now he's in a little bit of a tough spot trying to get his file properly set back up. Yeah, he's gonna have to reload and either redo warm skip, or if he sees that Terra's already done, yeah, he's just gonna skip it. He's like, it's fine, I'll just finish up.
Yep. Now, provided we have no serious game crashing issues here, Terra just needs to hold right with Naru. And he is probably going to be feeling very ecstatic at this moment, taking a game off of Willson. No easy feats.
Yep.
Can he do it again?
Well, that's the question. That's what we're going to see in that game 3. Is Wilson's going to finish up now. He's going to be doing his lava pillar here. Nice clean movement through. The nice thing, of course, about not doing warm skip is you actually get an energy refill, so you've got all the energy in the world. And you see Willson actually using his normal strats. Don't actually spend any of his energy whatsoever.
And he takes a death in the swim.
Ouch. Yeah, his fish position are a little different. When you don't do warm skip, you get slightly different fish. So without doing a manipulation there, he wasn't quite used to that position. Oh, man.
And I just want to add this update, though. Terra finished only 4 seconds behind his PB Religion.
Yeah, I believe his PB is at 29:43. So, yeah, it's like 4 and change. Very, 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 very good run for Terra. Willson does make it through the swim. Avoid spawning our friendly neighborhood bird. Will get in position on the wall. Aim his grenade jump, and he is through. So he'll finish up shortly, and we'll be moving on into game 3. But we did get a correction. It was 29:44. What do I know? I should listen to the truck more often.
I trust the truck Religion. I don't know about you.
I do trust them. I shouldn't trust myself at all. I should just trust the truck. But we'll finish up here with Willson with a 31. And certainly not the time he's looking for. But what do you think this means for him in game 3?
So I think this has to have an impact on Willson's nerves. He's going to be feeling nervous. He was a little bit sloppy in game 1, but Terra a little bit more sloppy, so he's able to walk away with that victory. And pretty sloppy in the end game here as well. And that's just a pattern that we're seeing in this series, and he doesn't have time to correct that. We're doing all these games back to back, so all these little mistakes is probably adding up in his head, and he's just got to take a break, take a brief deep breath, reassess, get a little bit more stable, and I don't know what the correct words are.
Yeah, recenter, refocus.
Recenter. There's all these weird
all those
things
buzzwords that people use. Yeah, he just needs to. He needs to do that. He needs to somehow come back to earth and just be like, look, I know the level of play I can produce. I mean, he got there was a 29:49 the first race, right? So he's very capable of beating these times that Terra's putting up. But if Terra PBs in this next race, which is a legitimate possibility, that would be actually very difficult for Willson to beat right now. So question marks.
Indeed. Well, we're gonna go to a short break here, but don't go anywhere. We have an exciting game 3 to decide who is going to continue on into the bracket, Willson or Terra. Stick around. See you later.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here for Game 3 of the quarterfinal, the last quarterfinal match of the Ori All Skills Tournament 2019. We've got the number 2 seed Willson and the number 7 seed Terra. They are even 1-1. This is only the second time this has happened so far in the bracket, fan, and boy, it could hardly have happened in a more like shocking way.
Yeah, no. Both these races have had like really exciting like second halves of the run. As we get to that fabled left side of the map, that's where all the magic seems to happen, where with lead changes and costly mistakes and just going back and forth. I'm so excited to see what Game 3 brings to us.
Same, and we should be getting started in the very near future. So the runners have been raring to go. They've been like, give us the shortest break possible. Just let us get back into it immediately, which is really interesting. I think for Willson, there's probably some mentality behind that. He doesn't want to allow himself too much time, maybe, to think about, to dwell on the mistakes. And then for Terra, he's just he must be hoping that his 2 beers don't wear off. Really.
Yeah, maybe he like picked up a third one after that second race.
I need a beer after that. Oh goodness, we are underway now as we're gonna get started, and it comes back to this early game where in both races we've seen that Willson has a huge advantage of time in the early game. He should be able to be like 30 to 40 seconds ahead of Terra by the time they get to Stomp or Bash or around that part. And he's just not. He's just letting Terra be in it up until that point.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see that again this race.
Well, we'll find out momentarily. As once again we're getting some great sync. On our way to the first skill.
I certainly hope we'll see sync on this part like every time. You really don't want to see the runners like lose time just going to Spirit Flame.
Yeah, and Willson once again with this great pink color Ori. He had that in the last race. I'm a big fan.
You got to enter that color code as many times as it takes really to get a nice pretty light pink that is it pops against the background. You can actually see it. Some runners, prefer the dark purple. That it's just impossible to see.
Like, kind of similar to what Willson just switched to.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Well, I don't see it. It's impossible to pick out against these dark backgrounds. Maybe he'll take a moment right here to try to pop it. Yeah, there you go. All right. So we're still even, both runners not losing any time on that early stuff. This is where you'll see the very little amount of randomness in the Ori speed run. As those energy drops, those health drops might stop them here against the jump pads. No problem this time. They both get the animation at the top, and they're going to just keep trying to do these movements as optimally as possible, and we'll see who gets, most likely they'll both get stopped by a health drop right here. Oh, Terra did, but not Willson.
Yeah, well, Wilson's going to be paying his dues. Not there. Once again, no more health drop, but Terra doesn't kill the slime. So it's going to be missing out on that XP. I'm not sure if that's going to affect his route at all. But previously, you've seen him grab that. Maybe he's gotten mad that the slime keeps dropping health balls.
Oh, yeah. Willson having to take the 2 HP death in the water there. Might have had a slight flub on his HP management earlier. In any case, leaves him at 2 HP here, which is nice. Avoid any potential catastrophic wall jump deaths. Terra, of course, is always going to pick up the health cell at the top there. And that'll put him at 4 HP and full HP once again. And now we'll be coming into this map monument cutscene real quick. Terra, be right in behind. Pretty much the same deficit as you're always going to expect to see here.
Yep, and there's an energy drop on Terra's screen. Willson got a health drop, it appears, so he may actually make it all the way to the wall jump tree without getting a health drop or an energy drop. We'll see if Terra can... Okay, no,
he's already got an energy drop
okay.
somewhere. Huh. Go figure. And he's pretty high on XP, so he's going to damage boost through that Bramble Wall. One of the nice advantages of being on 4 HP is you can safely do that and still take the flower skip here. So both runners will be taking the level up on the way out. Willson coming into wall jump tree at around a 310. Terra looked like he was going to be on the order of a 319 or 320 or something.
Yeah, I think that's the best wall jump time for Willson in this series, and I believe that is also the best wall jump time for Terra. So,
Indeed.
Both runners starting out strong. That was about an 8.5 second delta, which is, hey, it's that 4th health cell that Terra gets. So
yeah, and even with that energy pickup for Terra, he was able to kind of even out any differences of that randomness there, which is one of the nice things about Ori. Even in the early game, there is that randomness, but it's pretty much irrelevant. Fortunately, both runners getting their clean level ups on the way out. Terra, slight hesitation there. Yep, having a little bit of trouble with the Trojan log.
What
Oh,
was?
he second guessed himself. He second guessed himself there, and unfortunately, as a result, didn't manage to get up there. But now he'll head on up. A few seconds gained by Willson, which we'll see if he finds a way to donate those back.
Yeah, nothing catastrophic from Terra yet, but again, Terra has to really rely on mistakes from Willson to stay into it.
Clean movement otherwise from both runners. Willson picking up his 15 XP there to help smooth out his genocide route. Be coming into the Spirit Well here. Looks like he is a little further away from level this time. I think Willson probably just does not really take his XP count too seriously. You can make a lot of XP values work as long as they're not too far away from level. And this time he's 13, so he won't level up off the first slime. He'll level up off the second one, and that he has a strat for that as well.
Yeah, so he's going to sit here, kill the slime, grab it, man. There you go.
Yep. Terra coming in 32 XP to level, so he'll actually need to be a little bit more careful to be able to avoid accidentally taking too much XP and getting that level up here. But he, again, both of these runners are very experienced on both wall jump and the dash segment here. They both know what they need to do to make their XP work, so they'll make it happen.
Yeah, and Terra, being at that low XP, it looks like he decided not to level up Magnet, which you do so you don't accidentally kill a slime and you get anywhere close to that XP, and yeah.
Terra throws down a safety save coming off of that orb platform. It was actually hovering over the spikes. If he ends up having to use that save, I'm not sure that it will actually work for him. He also did take a few extra tries on the 100 XP jump, so it's going to cost him a few extra seconds. When you do this reload here, basically any mistakes prior to the reload are just pure lost time. As opposed to, for Willson, the genocide route, there's just leeway to make some mistakes and still get the optimal cycle.
Yeah, so Willson opened up a little bit of a lead by the dash tree, of course. And Terra did that reload earlier, but still manages to get that cycle, so well done from him. And it looks like Willson got his XP.
Oh, my God. The first time in the series. That's got to help his confidence a little bit. Like, hey, you make this mistake 2 races in a row, you don't really get an opportunity to practice it, but you still manage to correct it anyway, and that's exactly what you need to do within the scope of one of these matches. You just got to find any way to fix those mistakes from game to game.
Yep, Willson pulled the lever already, so let's see. Looking at 20, 30-ish seconds based on all these cycles ahead of Terra, so pretty good lead early on for Willson. This is like more on the order of what we would expect based on like the difference in PBs, the difference in routing that Willson does that inherently saves a lot of time early game.
Yeah, Willson has been coming in all the races really with close to sub 7 dash times. This one's a sub 7 dash time, which is incredibly fast. Terra, for his part this time, with a little bit of those flubs, probably going to come in around a 7:20. So that's going to, set your, if you can do quick math in your head, it's around a 25-second gap. As Willson already able to head out and collect his last slime, and will be heading in to perform his Frankie walk here.
See if you can go optimal 3 times for 3. There it is, a 7:24 dash for Terra.
So
about 28 seconds delta.
Yeah, a little bit worse than he would have liked probably, but he's got, he knows that Willson's made some mistakes in the previous races. He knows that he can make up a bunch of time later on in the game. So he does have possibilities. Willson does look like a good setup for Optimal, doing some nice little backflips there. Shout out to Lucy, who really likes to do these.
Yeah, important note, Terra did take an extra damage on the slime, exiting out of BRB, so he should be sitting at about 2 HP. So it should be fine. He'll just have to make sure he lands on the left side of the spikes where you damage boost with the Frankie. And Friday he does that, it's going to be no issues. There it is, on the left side, 1 damage lost, and he's all set. He's safe now.
Ooh, Willson managing to get through Death Glide, and then did take a damage from the slime after throwing down his safety save, but he had gotten a health along the way, so he was back to 2. Now he's at 1. He's going to make sure not to take damage. He's also going to make sure to do his Grotto cycle successfully and make sure that Terra does not manage to gain back those 8 seconds against him. Terra getting the Death Glide and taking a little damage there, but he should be okay.
Nice value safety save from Terra. He was down to 1 HP and decided to put it. And Willson doing his ghost door. Perfectly fine. Okay, he's through this time.
Yeah, well, the death this time, or the death last time, came from that Froggy just there, so he does manage to get by it this time and is picking up double jump again, a sub-9. Terra getting the early grotto cycle, so not allowing Willson to increase that gap by 8 seconds, but he is still a pretty substantial distance behind. This is kind of more like the early game we would have expected to see from Willson.
Yeah, Terra, so far, clean ghost door. Makes it safely down the spikes. See if he can get to the double jump tree, and he does. All right, so no major issues there. Pretty clean Boon Grotto from both runners.
Yeah, just shy of 930 for Terra, so about a 30-second delta. That is confirmed by our truck. Thanks again to Nans in there helping us out. Willson going for his rekindle at the rockfall here, getting a clean baguette jump this time. Again, that awkward jump off that overhang that has given people some problems before. He's going to continue on up here. Terra just kind of doing that same movement, trying to get to his grotto skip as quickly as possible. But right now, Willson is on fire. No, I wouldn't even say no major mistakes. No mistakes so far from Willson. This is a PB caliber run for him so far.
Terra through first try on the grotto skip as well, so well done. So, Terra's not really making too many mistakes either, but unfortunately just Willson, with that execution advantage, is going to slowly build up, even if Terra does the best he can. And
yeah, that dominant level of play, a little bit of a scary moment here as he does take damage from the dropping slime, but he was at full health, so it didn't kill him. You got to keep in mind, Wilson's at only 3 HP, and 3 HP is a very small amount. He had to specifically take that HP from that flower to be able to avoid dying to Gandalf there, and he did get by without taking a death. Now he's going to be back at 2 again. He manages to avoid dying, but he does take 2 from that frog. He's at 1 now. He is going to need to be very careful here.
Yeah, and he cannot damage boost through this slime, importantly. So he made... Oh my god. So being at 1 HP, he can waste a bunch of seconds saving at the spirit well, or he can just kill the slime on his way up. So it looks like he's going to opt to kill the slime. So we'll lose a little bit of time here. But still, look at this time coming into the Ginso tree. This is disgustingly good.
Yeah, this is insane. This is the that world record caliber of Enter Ginso time where it's not quite that level. You would expect to see like an 1120 Enter Ginso. Instead, we got 1132. That's obscene. Terra's not going to be getting an 1132. He knows it. Willson knows it. So that's got to be a big confidence booster for Willson as he comes in here. Just knowing Terra's not going to keep up with pace like this, and this is the gap that he needs that will allow him to say, even if he makes a big mistake later on, he'll still be able to compensate for him. Even if he has trouble with telehops like this, it'll still be okay because Terra isn't even going to enter the Ginso tree by the time he gets to the top of this room, and he does manage to avoid taking that gamer damage, so he's through.
All right, so Terra a little bit behind his pace of the previous runs entering Ginso. That's about a 12-13, so about 10 seconds behind what we saw last time. But still within striking distance, I would say, roughly.
Yeah, I mean, Terra's not going to rule out the possibility Willson will still make one of those big mistakes, so we'll see. Certainly, so far, none are occurring. No mistakes are occurring. Willson is killing it to the extent that he is at 4 seconds off his PB entering Ginso, and he has established a 41-second lead. So think about how substantial that is, how difficult it is for there to be 41 seconds worth of mistakes. He's doing very well in this mini-boss. Missed a spawn, but he could... Oh, he was a few shots off of 5 cycle, 3 shots off of 4 cycle, excuse me. So very good job by him. That's certainly going to help him out again, even with that one missed spawn.
Terra doing some dancing around the room. Nothing to do other than wait, so he's just, dashing around, keeping his hands warm, if you can call it that.
It probably gets cold up there in Scotland. You never know what the weather's like. Mini boss for Terra, looking like a pretty clear 4 cycle. Definitely already missed a few shots there. Wilson's coming into bash at 13:34. Oof.
Yeah, if Willson keeps playing like this, like it doesn't matter what Terra does. Like when you have like a pace and a run as good as Willson does, like there's few people in the world who can match up to that.
I think this is the performance we were really expecting from Willson. You saw this from Terra. You saw this kind of I'm right behind my PB. I'm just keeping up with my PB. I'm doing everything I possibly can. We hadn't seen it from Wilson yet. Now we're seeing it. Now we are really seeing it from Wilson, where coming into the bash tree under 14 minutes by a substantial amount. No problems with key dupe this time. Even having the confidence to do the spike wall climb there has not rekindled his save. So if he dies, he's going back without the keys from the key dupe. But he's totally confident. No problem. There's the save, and he's through to the mini boss.
All right, Terra, clean redirect puzzle there. Now onto his key dupe. We had about a 38-second delta at bash, so Terra saved a little bit of time going up there, at least the first half of Ginso. Probably due to the telehop.
Yeah, the shenanigans that Willson was having.
And, okay, for a minute I was a little spooked there. The keys weren't in the door, but Terra did successfully get the key dupe, so he is safely through. Probably one of the hardest parts of Ginso to do fast and clean.
Yeah, that's for sure. He will be collecting his keys for the second time, this time to actually continue through. But Willson is already on his way to Swamp Entry. He has had really only minor issues with this trick so far. The blind movement has not been a problem, which it sometimes is. The menu bug has been a problem. Comes up again here. So you saw that hesitation on the menu. That was not intentional. That was a menu bug. But his frog manipulation otherwise has been very good. So he's going to come in here again. He's going to throw the frog as quickly as he can into position. Does double bash there, just get Ori into position as well. Good position for the frog there.
Yeah, does the same
miss
thing
it again,
with the missing shot, but a second missed shot, so a opportunity here for Terra.
Yeah, I mean, these are like the first mistakes Willson has made in the race.
This is what we have to talk about, man.
Oof. So yeah, he gets in. He's going to throw down his keys. He's going to hyperspeed through the door. Hyperspeed again, just that save while you're dashing carries the speed through the save as long as you reload. Or die. And Wilson's going to head on into the Stomp Tree. Terra now for his Swamp Entry. Again, he hasn't really had problems either. He's, in fact, done it slightly more cleanly than Willson both times.
All right, well, we'll see if he can continue. Go. The first shot is good. Second shot, he barely nails it.
Oh, that's so high. Wow.
He got through first try, so a little bit of a time save over Willson there. Well done by Terra.
Yeah, that high position on that shot is terrifying because it might mean that the shot phases through the ceiling. But fortunately, it did not. Willson now plus 17 on his PB, so again, still just on absurd, really insurmountable pace for Terra. Like, Terra's not keeping up with plus less than a minute on Wilson's PB here. But here we go with Ringo again for Willson and Terra getting to the Stomp Tree. Looks like about still a 40-second deficit.
Yep. Now, Willson going to be attempting... Well, he's going to be getting the Kuro cutscene skip.
You say something like that.
well, we'll see. I have full confidence in Willson to get this, and
your confidence was founded.
Yeah. Yeah, Terra, we saw him, have trouble on the first attempt last time, but was able to nail it second try, still saving some time. So hopefully Terra will also be able to first try through it. And Willson is going to be doing the double bash strats again. To skip this cutscene, it requires some very specific angles on the shot, and he nails it, so he just needs to keep carrying this bash over and just completely skips that cutscene entirely. So well done by Willson there. Going to save a little bit of time.
That's really, really impressive and just speaks to how confident Willson must be feeling right now. Terra does get the Kuro cutscene skip this time, so he's through. He can't afford to make any mistakes, Terra. A single one just means even more gap for Willson to be able to exploit. If Willson looks at this, at the end, he can just be like, you know what? I'm just not even going to bother doing warp skip. I'm just not going to bother doing grenade jump at this rate. Like, he's so far ahead.
Yeah, but if he can maintain that for the second half of this run, we're entering, the real deal where the big time losses happen. And we see them happen over and over again because we're at very long sections, saves are very far apart, and any death, especially when you're at 3 HP like Willson is, can be catastrophic.
Yeah, Valley is definitely the start of those terrifying. You see, Wilson, you skipped the frog there too. He knows. He knows what his lead is. He knows what the situation is. It's game 3. Like all that matters for him is winning. It does not matter how good his time is. And I think he's embraced that. So you see him kind of eschewing some of those really terrifying strats that can easily result in some damage, as they have in previous races. And saying like, if I die in Valley, I'm going all the way back to the Spirit Tree, and Terra is now in the lead. So let's not do that.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Fast Stompless, immediate, just instant aim of the shot, very confident, and it definitely looked good, and he's got his bash up to the cell, and...
He actually missed it.
Wow! I'm shocked.
See, this is why we don't comment on whether or not a shot looks good, because we can never tell.
And he just bopped the spider on the way through, so he took that damage that he was trying to avoid taking. This time, oh, that hit the ceiling. That might have been the same thing that happened on the first shot. So now Terra is a lot closer than he was just a moment ago. Willson, though, is able to do a little bit safer movement here. Doesn't have to worry about getting the cell, and his shot is good the second time. But wow, Terra is now a lot closer than he just was. That shot's high.
Yep. He
Cool.
realizes, though, catches his mistake, and goes back for attempt 2. That one may or may not be good.
I think is good. Who knows? Oh, God!
No,
Oh, but he's going to miss the cell!
That's sad cellless for Terra. That is really unfortunate. He's going to have to go find a backup cell. So he can either go all the way back up or take the more popular bird cell. He's going to level up Charge Dash, stomp down to the floor, and head over for a backup cell. But that is unfortunate for Terra and probably widens the gap more, even before like Wilson's mistakes there.
No, it at least makes up for the mistake just in Valley, the fast Stompless problems. Wilson having some trouble on Sorrow Bash for that matter, but he does correct it very well, so he will be through. Terra's taking a death. Ouch. All right. This fast movement to get this 3-bird cell is not easy, and that is going to send him even further back behind Willson. He's really pretty much got to be hoping for a crazy juggle mistake right here. We haven't seen him so far. In fact, we've barely seen... I don't know that we've seen any crazy juggle runner even make a mistake on crazy juggle in this tournament. Wilson is... Just
you
kidding.
Say that.
There it is.
Why did you say that?
That's the first one. Well, because I wanted a close race. So.
All right, so Willson has to spend some time going for the backup, and this is quite a bit of a time investment. But Terra just now entering Sorrow, so Wilson's still pretty comfortable. And this frog, it's already most of the way up, so you can afford some mistakes. And he's already up there, and the frog's still in the yellow range on the HP. Very healthy frog.
Yeah, Terra bonking the ceiling there a little bit, so throwing off some of his movement going into Sorrow, costing him another few seconds. Otherwise, this movement is very, very quick. We'll see if he continues throwing in the charge dashes. Not this time. I'm going to stick with a regular dash, and he's going to be heading to charge jump tree. So this is...
Oh, no, he had a missed dash. Press glide too early, and unfortunately all the way back to that bird cell.
Okay, well, that erases any problems that Willson was facing now. And I mean, Willson having the 5 energy, having only 3 health, he can throw down safety saves kind of galore at this point, and he'll be totally fine. Terra taking damage on the way in here too, as well. And Willson taking a dash.
He's back to the Sunstone, man.
What is happening here? Oh my goodness.
So
I have no idea who's in the lead now.
Wilson
it's gotta be Willson, right?
Wilson is definitely in the lead because he's already collected Sunstone and is slightly ahead of where Terra is on the way to charge jump. But like that really costly mistake Terra had, well, Willson gave a little bit of it back, but unfortunately Willson needs to give a lot more back for Terra to still have a chance to this. That could happen in Misty, as we saw in the second race. But Willson is watching the restream, and knowing that he has this lead, he can place a lot of safety saves in Misty, go for extra energy crystals to make sure that he doesn't have to worry about it.
The funny thing about those safety saves in Misty is you don't even have to collect the energy to make them up. You can just skip uncanceled charge dashes, which is what most people use their energy for. And like, you don't lose that much time doing that. Awkward exit for Willson there, but he does get his rocket jump off. Meteor kick is the downwards version of rocket jump, and he does throw down that safety save at the entrance of Misty. So he's definitely thinking about it. He's saying that the only thing that matters here is not taking one of those deaths that once again allows Terra back into the race. And so far he's doing a solid job of that.
All right, some beautiful stomp cancels. Terra safely to Sunstone. We'll be following down to Misty shortly, and we'll see if Willson opts to pick up any more energy or place any more saves, but He's pretty comfortable in this part.
Yeah, I mean, even if he goes back to the entrance of Misty, he's still in the lead, but of course he doesn't want to do that, so he'll probably settle for just not dying. That's pretty reasonable. Uh, he's not really, you know, these sections of Misty, like, they can kill you, which is why people throw down safety saves, but they're not that dangerous, really. Like, they're not. But what really gets people is when they're not dialed in, and they just are slightly off on their movements. That's when you get got, basically. And that was the problem for Willson last race in the second half of Misty, so we'll see if it's going to manifest again.
Terra got caught up in the little orb shooter, laser thingy, whatever it is. I know that thing has a name, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, back to the action. Willson collects the keystone, doing some beautiful charge dashes through that laser room, and he's looking good. He's looking solid.
Yep. Again, any of the spikes here in Misty are instantly deadly to him. It's 3 damage. They are not instantly deadly to Terra, but Willson has shown that he knows how to avoid them. He's going to keep trying to avoid them. Terra throwing in a Stomp Cancel in those spikes again, and he's going to make it to Climb Tree, but Willson is already at the end of Misty here pretty much with that clean rocket jump through the meatball shaft, as we call it. He'll throw in another rocket jump here. We're coming to his mini-boss, and ideally, you will not even see it, and there you go.
Yep, so he's through the difficult part of Misty. He's got that nice level up. He can place a save if he wants, but he hasn't been placing any saves. He's fully confident in his Misty play now. The second game, I guess in his eyes, was just like, that won't happen again. I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, he does take some damage on the way out here, and he hasn't, well, he might have dropped a safety save. I see he's at 4 energy, so he might have thrown one down. But he is able to make it out of Misty. Definitely a scary thing. Oh, taking the health refill there, too, because he does need... probably just doesn't want to die on the way through Blackroot Burrows or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you actually need to damage boost through anything over there, but
you get to save before it, so I think he's fine. But yeah, he doesn't want to mess around with any of that, and that's pretty advisable. Again, he's got over a 40 or 50 second lead. Last update at Climb Tree was 54 seconds, so that is more than enough lead for Willson to just say, I can skip almost anything. He could probably skip both Warmth Skip and Grenade Juggle.
Grenade Juggle, that's a trick I want to see.
And Grenade Jump at the very end, and he would still be able to beat Terra at this point, even if Terra succeeded at both of those, potentially.
And, well, Terra, we haven't seen go for the Warmth Skip.
I don't think he's going to pull it out.
Yeah, so that's just a free potential increase for Willson's lead. But, you know, Willson having a little bit of trouble on that swim with the different fish positions, he may just do the Warmth Skip anyway.
That's a good point.
So he's used to where the fish are in like the route he normally does.
Yep, that is a very, very good point. So as he does successfully Grenade Jump this time out of the Grenade Tree, I think the last race he actually took an intentional death after failing the Grenade Jump to get his energy back.
Oh, takes the death and back to the Light Grenade Tree.
All right, well, he gets to try the Grenade Jump again, and he gets it again.
Yeah, that was cool. You got to see it twice.
Yeah,
it was like a replay, except we didn't have to actually use the replay.
You know, not the kind of death he wants to take, but it's not the most time costly. He does succeed the movement this time. Terra is still substantially behind him, and you know he probably will feel like, okay, I'd better just go for the stuff that is as fast as possible.
Yeah, you want a Grenade Jump now.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the room for my opponent to take advantage of my mistakes or anything that I do at all, really. So we'll see. He's got very good pace going here, though. This does still look like sub-30 pace.
And I think I saw Willson level up Ultra Magnet as well, so he's going to be... maybe not. Okay. I lied. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, the crazy juggle route, one deficiency is that
you cannot
learn Ultra Magnet, which is a real shame. But I don't think that's going to prove too much of a problem. You do see he has gotten up to full energy. He's going to preserve as much of that as possible, because he will definitely be Warmth Skipping. Throwing a Grenade Jump here at the end. Terra has completed his movement out of the grenade area, so, you know, Door Warp, I don't know, 15, 17, maybe 84 Door Warp misses for Willson. Maybe Terra can catch up here.
Well, we saw Willson take a third try. That's probably the best Terra can hope for at this point.
Oh. All right, here goes Door Warp for Willson. First attempt is successful.
It's good.
All right, we're going to see some Warmth Skip as well. So this is going to be it. You know, Terra really has to hope for multiple escape deaths probably, and even that might not be
He
enough.
did the Terra jump again.
He got both. He got the double. What a show off.
So he entered the cutscene about, I'd say, 40 seconds or so behind. But yeah, Willson skipping that warm skip. So if he has trouble with the fish placement like he did last race, that could be enough to put Terra in the lead here.
It could be. I think we'd have to see two failures. We'll see. Terra does get a first try door warp. Willson is through the first bunch of sections of the escape. He is pretty much doing the exact same strats he normally does. Maybe we will see him hold up a little. Nope,
that fish is over to the right.
Straight in.
He took 3 damage.
But he's through.
Oh man, that was spooky. But yeah, he made it. So now just needs to
don't soft lock.
Don't soft lock. Go for the grenade jump. He's been ace on this for the most part, and he is through it. Willson has done it. He's going to walk away with the victory in this best of 3. But still, what a performance from Terra. I don't think any of us expected him to take a game off of Willson and to have 3 pretty close races, all things considered.
I mean, yeah, if it hadn't been for the one flub in Sorrow for Terra, this would have been an incredibly close race. Like, we would be screaming our heads off right now, like, oh, Terra's coming in the end, Wilson's lining up for his grenade. But unfortunately, that's just not happening because of that one death. Terra does line up instantly his grenade jump and get it very, very quickly. GG to him. He's only going to finish about 40 seconds and change behind Willson with a 30.06. So not quite the 29.49 he got in the first race. But Terra will be wrapping up in just a few seconds here. It looks like a high 30.40, something like that. Whew.
That's still a great time.
Yeah. So GG to both of these guys. Very, very exciting match here. Willson will move on to the semifinals to face off against Elo Jiminy. That will be quite something. Our top 4 now for this tournament are decided, and as Terra will waddle to the end here as Naru, 30.42. GG to him. Great showing in the tournament from all our quarterfinalists. Great showing by Terra. Great showing by Willson, and wow, what a match.
Yeah, I don't think I could have asked for a better series to happen here. Just wow, incredible watch. That was so much fun to cast and see the changes in the routes and the decisions between the runners, like choosing to go for some tricks they were initially hesitant on, and then getting more comfortable in the groove and just like, you know what, I'm going for this, changing things up,
telling us they were going to do the telling us they were going to skip Death Glide and then doing it every lying time, blatantly to us. Yeah, it was beautiful. Oh my goodness. Well, we don't have to wait to continue to hear from these runners. We've gotten to see their play for the last almost 2 hours. Now we are going to get to hear from both of them. We've got Willson and Terra in the channel, and we want to welcome both of you here. GG to both of you. And Willson, I want to start with you. Congrats on the victory here. And tell us a little bit about your adaptation process throughout this race. Your strats changed constantly. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, thanks. And GG to Terra, first of all. So I'm pretty much done. I feel like my nerves just can't handle this. This has been really tough for me. About the strats, it's been a journey. Some things I had to improvise most of the time, like in a lot of places. But sometimes it was just like if I did have health, or if I didn't have health, so I just adapted from that. Plus, I was watching the restream, so I knew where Terra was and the state of the race, and that was really, stressful.
Yeah, so going back on that, watching the restream, so that's one thing, Terra wasn't watching it, and you were. Whenever you had like a major death, you had a couple of those even in this last race, where you like instantly looking at the restreams like, oh crap, how did that change things? Am I still good? Am I still good? Or oh no, what did I do? What was going through your head?
I definitely had a few of those, and most of the time I made some mistake, like minor or major. It was like I instantly looked at the restream and to check where Terra was, and to my everlasting fear, he was never making any major mistakes, at least not in the first 2 races. So I felt like he was so consistent. He was always right behind me, and whenever I made a mistake, he took the lead. That was not what I had planned for.
Well, I mean that like that really segues well, I guess, into Terra. I mean, GG Terra, congrats on taking a game here and being very much in the hunt the entire match. And you know, thinking through those races, all three races for very substantial portions, you were on pace with your PB. Basically, you were on as good pace as you could reasonably have expected. Did that ever? I know you weren't watching the restream, but did that pace that you were constantly having ever affect your mindset during these three races?
No, I feel like I played really well on some bits. I threw away a PB in the first game. Also threw away a PB in that third game with that death, which was awful. But no, I saw my time being down. I saw the green splits. I was like, oh man, let's go. I just did as the best I could do. Fortunately, it wasn't enough, but it's my own fault.
Well, I mean, it certainly was not your fault in game two. You performed incredibly well. You came within 4 seconds of your PB, managed to defeat Willson there. Going through the game 1 and 2s, let's like forget about game 3 because obviously it's a forgettable race for you. But both game 1 and 2, like you just from start to finish, you were very, very consistent, and you were on top of basically everything. How does that make you feel? Does that increase your confidence? Does that make you like, do you feed off that and just get even better and better as they're having those paces? Or did you at any point get more nervous thinking like, oh my gosh, if I have to keep playing like this type of thing?
I feed off that. I love it when you know that you're playing well and you know it's a race, everyone's watching. I just keep playing better until the Terra jump. I'm sorry, Vigilant.
So, well, I was gonna have this question, but now I'm laughing.
Oh gosh, yeah, I had some words for Terra after the Terra jumps in game 1. Oh gosh.
Why? So, we talked to you after game 1. Obviously, that Terra jump went south. We can say, running into that Bailey afterwards, but you decided to do it again. And then again, a third time. Why?
And it looks cool. It's a swag.
Oh
Swag
my
points.
gosh. Going back to Willson, thinking about your performance, I mean, we were just talking about Terra being on basically PB pace every single race. For a decent amount of the first several races, you were also, for the decent amount of the early game of all 3 races, you were also staying pretty close to your PB, especially the last one. I know you haven't gotten too much of an opportunity to work, to practice and to grind this game, but like, how are you feeling about your play right now relative to what you know you're capable of?
Yeah, my play is awful at the moment. I have barely been able to practice this last week, and I haven't practiced nearly as much as I should, considering I'm in the tournament. So I'm not very happy about my performance throughout this match. The third race was decent up to about the valley, so that was okay. But I definitely have some work to do if I'm gonna survive any longer in this tournament.
Yeah, and about that, your next opponent in the semifinals is going to be Elo Gemini, the number 3 seed. You're seeded at number 2. Have you watched any of Elo's play so far this tournament?
Yeah, I've seen Elo. Elo is one of those runners that are super consistent and also extremely fast and skilled at this game. So that's very scary. That being said, it's going to be a lot of fun going up against him. It's the first time I'm going to face him in a tournament, and he's been like my rival in this game, or one of my rivals rather, since I first picked up this game. So that's going to be a lot of fun, no matter the outcome.
Well, we're looking forward to that. I'm sure that will be quite entertaining. For now, thank you guys both for joining us. Willson, GG on the victories, and moving on to the semifinals of the tournament. And Terra, GG on your job through this entire tournament, and hopefully we'll see both of you in RSLs maybe. But for now, that's gonna do it for tonight, today, to this morning, depending on your time zone.
You know,
This middle of the
with
night.
daylight savings kicking in, like I think last night, I don't know what's time anymore.
Time conversions are impossible, but that's it for the quarterfinal round. That's it for today. We will be back this upcoming week. It's the semifinals of the tournament and then the finals all coming up. We've got the two matchups you've seen on that bracket. We've got number 1 seed Uncle Ronnie versus number 13 seed. God, 13. That is not at all reflective of his skill level, by the way. Hitachi Hex. And we got the number 2 seed Willson versus the number 3 seed Eligibility. Those will get scheduled as soon as those runners are able to find time to do so. Keep an eye on speedgaming.org/Ori, or you can type !Ori into the chat to get that update. But for now, thanks for joining me today for Commentary Fan.
Yeah, it's been great. See you at the next one.
Indeed. Thanks for our truck helpers today, Nans, Poogle, and Uncle Ronnie himself. And thank you to Hydra for restreaming. We appreciate all your contributions, and we appreciate you viewers. Have a great night.